All right, I'm here to talk about Alan Baudot versus Josh Parisian. This fight is happening June 25th, UFC Fight Night, Sarukian versus Gamrot. I'm dropping this a little early. I know this is one of those fights where it's just like, really, we don't really want to hear about this fight. This fight is trash. But this fight is a pick'em, and I love looking at close to pick'em fights first before anything else because tiny little edge, tiny little element of the fight that no one's picking up on can make a huge difference. And not saying there's one here, but I just want to give you what I'm thinking about this fight. Like I said, currently a pick 'em. Let's go to best fight odds. Currently a pick 'em should be best fight odds is my favorite tool, without a doubt. June 25th, UFC Fight Night 212. Scroll down, scroll down. Did we pass it? Alan Baudot minus 115. Josh Friesen minus 105. Okay, so that is according to Bet Online. So yeah, anyways, let's get back to the fight. One of the most interesting fights on this fight card, and it's on the main card. My God. Okay, the Black Samurai Alan Baudot. You know what? Let's start with Josh Friesen. Josh Friesen, 14-5, 6'4", 79-inch reach. Coming off a loss to Dontel Mays. He just got dominated by Dontel Mays. Won a split over Roque Martinez. Lost a unanimous decision to Parker Porter. Beat Chad Johnson on the Contender Series. And I look at this fight, and this guy's going life and death with Roque Martinez. This guy is only a minus 145 slight favorite versus Roque Martinez. I kind of feel like that should tell you a lot as it is. Um, Josh Parisian doesn't really have any tools. Like, he has a lot of finishes, round one finishes, but the longer a fight extends, the less you can trust this guy down the stretch. And I don't know what he presents to the table. He's gonna get the low level guys out of there, and he's gonna fight life and death with a guy like Roque Martinez. That's just what it is, guys. You look at this fight versus Marcus Molden, and it's just go back and watch this fight. It's on UFC Fight Pass. Watch this fight. It's a perfect summary of really what Josh Parisian is, and not like Alan Baudot is a world beater that much better, but pre UFC, just like Josh Parisian is kind of laughable. Like, how's this guy in the UFC? UFC just needs heavyweight bodies. That's what it comes down to. No notable wins pre UFC. Goes into the UFC versus Tom Aspinall. It's just like, what the fuck? Here, take this loss, kid. He did almost land some sneaky, cheeky elbows as Tom Aspinall was landing his finishing, his combination on the feet that knocked him down. And so he's a sneaky striker. I'll tell you that. Like I said, he's not world beater or anything, but I do think his striking is and his movement. I believe he's a former light heavyweight. Yeah. So he's gonna have that speed. He's gonna have that agility on the feet. Um, and let's talk about the Parker Porter fight. This is what really I feel like Alan Baudot kind of turned the corner, and I finally saw something between the two that I liked. I saw some upside here versus Parker Porter. It was 1-1 going into the third. It looked like Baudot was slowing down in that second round. It looked like he caught a second win in that third round. He started showboating. He was piecing up Parker Porter for the first 3 minutes of that third round. He wasn't winning by a landslide or anything, but he was showboating. He was feeling himself. We had never seen that kind of cardio from Alan Baudot. It felt like before the Parker Porter fight, I could kind of say the same thing about both these guys, Parisian and Baudot. That is, it's like down the stretch, you can't fucking trust either guy. But in that Parker Porter fight, I saw cardio, I saw a second win, I saw confidence. I know he got taken down in the final, what was it, 2.5 minutes, and that's how he lost the fight. But throughout that fight, he showed great takedown defense. Throughout that fight, he showed good, slick striking. And I'm not going to say improved BJJ because by the time Parker Porter got on top of him, they were both really fucking tired. Didn't get finished. Um, but like I said, improved takedown defense, improved cardio. And in my opinion, the better striker. He's a better striker here in this matchup versus Josh Parisian. So that said, look, Parker Porter is a decent heavyweight. Parker Porter, what was Parker Porter? What was he lined at versus Josh Parisian? You reline that fight, Parker Porter is a heavy favorite. That's just what it is. Parker Porter is better than Josh Parisian. Baudot was competing with Parker Porter. Parisian was not. And like I said, it comes down to the improvements I saw in Baudot's game versus Parker Porter. And I don't want to trust them. I don't want to trust a guy like this heavy in a spot like this. That's not what it's about. It's just about finding a little edge, finding improvements in the game and in Baudot. And I think it'll go a long way in this Parisian fight. Like I said, better striker, good cardio, good takedown defense. When it comes down to it, is a guy like Parisian going to be fighting that hard for a takedown like Parker Porter did in round 3? No, he's not. Had Baudot stuffed that takedown in the third round, and he kept it on the feet for that final round, and he pieced up Parker Porter like he was doing in that first half of the fight, we wouldn't. Everyone would be talking about how Baudot is so improved, how his cardio looked great, his takedown defense looked awesome. But no, he gave up a takedown in the final 2.5 minutes. Cool, that's great. But you gotta look at the bigger picture. It all comes down to I think he's making improvements. It all comes down to he's more agile. It all comes down to he's a better striker than Josh Parisian. If Josh Parisian tries to clinch up, I'm not worried about the fact anymore that Baudot has terrible takedown defense, one takedown and it's over. Parisian has terrible takedown offense. Parisian isn't good on the mat either. So it's just like I kind of think that's going to be canceled out because I kind of trust the takedown defense of Baudot, and I like his striking better, and I like his cardio better. Josh Parisian has more fights, but at this point, it's just like give me the pick'em and a guy who just went 1-1, was winning the third round versus Parker Porter, compared to a guy who was going life and death with Roque Martinez and just got dominated by Dontel Mays. I like the matchup. I like what I've seen in his latest fight, and I think this is a good spot. This is a good spot to buy in on Alan Baudot at -115. I think as we get closer to fight week, I think this line's going to go way down. It's going to widen a little bit. I think by the time fight week rolls around, people start taping these fights on Sunday, Saturday, start making up their mind. I think we're going to see the line improve on Parisian, and it's going to widen for Baudot. And Baudot is going to be a slight favorite by the time the fight rolls around. So I think there's a little bit of value to be had. At the end of the day, it's like bad fighter versus bad fighter, but I love these kinds of fights. It's a shit fest, and I'm interested in this great, great heavyweight fight that's going to happen on the main card, June 25th, Sarukian versus Gamrot. Anyway, that's my thoughts. As far as recommending a bet, yes, I do like -115, obviously. Like I said, I wouldn't go heavy. I wouldn't go like 5 units or anything. I'd probably say 2 unit bet, -115. I think we'll be on the right side of CLV, quote unquote, CLV. So yeah, that's just a look ahead to UFC. What is it? Vegas 50 fucking, I don't know. June 25th, Sarukian versus Gamrot. I'm out. I hope you all cash on Alan Baudot. The Black Samurai is gonna fucking